Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy. Merry Christmas, and we're back with another video. Today we are on the account with the Barbarian, and we're going to show you how to crush T16 bounties with one spec. There are some swaps if you want to just do key farming. Really brainless with the Barb. It's spin to win. You know, we just hold the button down and the enemies just melt, which is great. So Barb is absolutely no slouch for key farming. When I'm doing my Z-barbing, this is kind of the spec that I'm using to get my keys. Before we do jump in and take a look at the build, as always guys, a thumbs up does help me have a Merry Christmas. Chuck me a comment, is anybody playing Barb? I'm finding it very easy to gain Paragon on Barb because there is just a high demand for Z-barbs. Also, would you like a Z-barb video breaking down how to kind of set that up? But other than that, let's jump in and take a look at Whirlwind. Now, realistically, Whirlwind has been a really good build for a while. Nothing has changed for this season, but obviously we do have the soul shards. Now, I haven't really unlocked many of these. I really should sit down and do a bit more farming for them. I've got plenty of embers. I just haven't really sat down to have like an unlock session on these. So I'm just kind of saving them up and I need to go and do some bounties. Always bounties, guys. We always need to do them. Just to get the soul shards that I want to have a look at. But with what we've got, we can pretty much crush anyway. So, you know, how much more improvement are we going to get? Whirlwind is pretty straightforward. The way it works is as we whirlwind around with right click, which is how we're going to hold it down. It will basically give us a huge damage increase on Rend, condense its duration, give us damage reduction. We don't care about any of this Whirlwind damage. It's actually Rend being applied by Whirlwind that does all the damage. So always we need to take an Ambo's Pride. Attacking with Whirlwind will apply Rend and crunch the damage down. This goes in the cube. Now, you doesn't have to. You can run like a Ambo's Pride and an Echoing Fury type setup. I personally, when I'm doing keys and bounties, just can't be asked running out of Fury. I don't like even the remote possibility of it. So I do all my farming with the bul-kathos blades. What these will do is they will give us a Fury generation, which means that we can pretty much perma-spam stuff. Don't get me wrong, we do have a spender in Sprint Marathon. If you just repeatedly mash this button over and over and over again, you might just about get it when the Fury starts going down. But as you can see, I'm absolutely hammering this, you know, so it is pretty hard to run out of Fury, is what I'm getting at. They will also give us a huge attack speed, 45%, and huge move speed, which is pretty gravy. Now, I've actually gone for 5 pieces of the Wrath of the Waste because we're going to take the Crimsons. Again, I think this just is really nice for cooldown, really nice for resource cost reduction. As you say, it allows us to press this sprint button quite a bit. Every cooldown roll is more damage, every resource cost roll is more toughness. We've got the Lamentation Belt. Rend will stack twice on an enemy and have its damage increased by 150%. Now at the moment, I still do have Rend Bloodbath on the bar. This just basically means that this rune is applied when you whirlwind. So the Rend goes on the character, on the enemy with this rune on. When I get a bit more damage, we will have another skill slot free because you probably won't need to put the rune on it. So, you know, that is something to bear in mind a little further. In terms of damage, we have got a Mantle of Channeling, a Taeguk, good God, a Taeguk gem, rank 125, so pretty decent, basically gives us armor, toughness, and also more damage. We've got Bane of the Trapped. We're going to suck enemies in because of the rune on Whirlwind is Hurricane. So this kind of vortexes in anything from 35 yards, which is pretty cool. That will then basically mean that we can get it up close personal, hit them with Whirlwind, have the Trapped, do the extra damage. Third legendary gem is not for damage. It is for gold find. It is the Boon of the Hoarder. When we kill enemies, they drop gold. We get move speed from it. And obviously we get tons and tons of gold. So we can empower those rifts. In terms of the fun stuff, the soul shards, we've gone for the Essence of Anguish. We've got the cold skill, does 20% more rubbish. Obviously we would want physical damage because that's how Rend works on physical. We also get this every time we deal poison damage to an enemy, your cooldown reduction, move speed, is increased, and also the damage we take is increased, but we're so tough as the Barb, it doesn't really matter. Max 10 stacks, another 25% CDR reduction, and move speed feeds back into the Crimsons for more damage, which is nice. We also get movement speed and cooldown reduction can be increased up to 15 times by dealing poison damage. So you're probably wondering, well, how the hell are we dealing poison damage? We have to roll it on the weapon. Barb doesn't have any poison abilities, so we do have to re-roll a bul-kathos for poison if we don't get one to drop. Now, obviously, the idea is you keep an eye out for one with poison, either the Warrior Blood or the bul-kathos Solemn Vow. If they do land with poison, hang on to them and shove that, Essence of Anguish in there. For the helm, Fragment of Destruction, strength roll if you can on it is nice because obviously it's just a bit more damage, a bit more toughness. We basically get this Mark of Death. I've upgraded a bunch of these. I keep getting this one, which is rubbish. So we now leave a Trail of Fire that slays enemies at 10% health. Not really very useful because things tend to insta-melt with Whirlwind, particularly as you push the damage up. I'm not quite there with damage. A bit more damage for me would be handy. So I would like one of the other unlockable properties on this, but as I say, I've just had poor RNG with it. What it does do, though, is it allows us to move unhindered through enemies. We always get this part of it. They receive a Mark of Destruction for 7 seconds, and when we kill them, it's like having a Messerschmitt's Reaver. It basically takes one of your skills, takes a second off it. We do lose life if stuff doesn't die, but honestly, you just murder everything, so you don't have to worry about that second part. So it's kind of like you've got an ultimate helm with extra strength, extra cooldown, gold find, resource cost reduction, and it's a Messerschmitt's Reaver on your head, which is pretty nice because I do like playing Whirlwind with that. Other than that, a Rourke is obviously needed to make up the bonuses. A Band of Might, I've put this on just simply so that I don't have to change spec between key farming and bounties. This obviously gives 80% damage reduction after doing a Furious Charge. If, let's say, you can't be bothered, you do want to take a gold wrap, well, you're obviously going to have to drop the crimsons because the belt slots are both locked out. That would allow you to take off the Band of Might and put something else on there. And you wouldn't need the Rogue then unless you wanted to add something like a Mantle of Channeling, so more damage, a little bit on the shoulder slot. What else we've got? For move speed, we've got the Larceny Ring. This is kind of nice when we hit. We've got a small chance of fear, and then we get a huge move speed buff, which is pretty good. Again, if you're doing a T16 type one and you are going for gold wrap, Pandemonium Loop is another excellent ring to pair with the Larceny one, because what it'll do is if something dies when it is feared, it will explode and apply fear, which will keep your move speed buff up considerably. Another good shout, I've got at the moment got Kimbo's Gold on. It's just simply because it's double crit. Amulet, obviously double crit physical would be great, but just double crit is huge damage. Eventually I probably want to swap myself onto Rondell's Locket just to give us that extra little bump in pickup radius. I've been using this on quite a few builds this season, and it is very nice because it just makes your average band feel like it's on super juice, and we don't really need that much damage this season because of the bonkers natures of the soul shards. Again, similarly with that, I've got a Gem of Ease in my offhand weapon, just simply to get a little bit more experience. If you feel you need a bit more damage, by all means, plop yourself in a Flawless Royal Emerald for a bit more crit damage. The only other thing, again, for move speed, is the Wazishan Arm Guards. Just make sure you get physical and crit on there. When we destroy stuff, we get move speed boost, which is pretty nice. If you find you're a little squishy in the bounties, a Mortix Brace will give you all of the Wrath of the Berserker runes, which would give you 50% damage reduction. So again, that would be something to consider. 80% here, 50% in the Whirlwind set, 50% here. You're gonna be pretty bloody tanky. And obviously, out Barb, as you pile on Paragon, you get more toughness. Same for the gems, you can choose either rubies or diamonds. Rubies if you want more damage, diamonds if you want a bit more toughness. Again, if you're doing a gold wrap type thing, you may as well just pump rubies for damage. And if you're out and about doing bounties, well, maybe the all res works. So I've just left them both in just to show you it can be either. Rend damage and cooldown on your shoulders is great. Rend's damage on your chest piece is great. Other than that, gold find, pickup radius are cool secondaries. You don't need a stack of crit damage or damage. Cooldown on your weapons would be nice. Poison damage on both weapons would probably be handy. But yeah, you don't need a terrible much in terms of stats to get this absolutely trucking along. Right, I think that covers the gear and all the gear options. I do enjoy this amulet on my Z-Barb. It is very, very nice. Skills are here just in case there are any that we haven't talked about. Battle Rage Bloodshed is very nice because it'll detonate crits for us as we go. It just kind of creates a bit of an AoE effect, which is nice. Sprint Marathon, whenever we pop it, we get 40% move speed. You know, theoretically, pop it once every 4 seconds. You know, you can just spam it if you want. Wrath of the Berserker, Insanity, always with Barb, 50% extra damage, move speed, crit chance, attack speed, dodge chance, all those wonderful Barb things. And then Furious Charge, Merciless Assault, proccing the Band of Might. So let's say you're going the gold wrap route and you just want to do key farming. I would probably swap to Ignore Pain, Bravado for move speed. Just, you know, 50% damage reduction on that, but it doesn't really matter. It's the move speed you want. Passives wise, no cheat death because the follower has got cheat death on. So Rampage for extra strength, more damage. Ruthless, again, once you start one-shotting stuff, you won't need that. Berserker Rage, you know, might help you get there possibly. Pound of Flesh for move speed, and then bul-kathos just to keep Wrath of the Berserker up. For bounties, if you're worried about dying on the boss, you could take Nerves of Steel, which gives you a cheat death because obviously you won't have access to your follower. But again, that's up to you. It depends how much toughness. If if you're rolling around with Morsex Brace on, you probably won't need the cheat death. But you know, I suppose there's no harm in taking it. As for the follower, usual kind of setup. I haven't bothered to pop on a Flavor of Time as of yet. I probably should do. That's on my list of stuff to do. Nems to get the extra elites off pylons. Canes for keys, obviously mandatory for a key build. Just a nice weapon with intelligence on it. If you want to re-roll that, obviously get a nice weapon like this, even if it drops with strength on it. Take it to an intelligence character, re-roll it, stick it back in the stash, plonk it on your follower. I've actually gone for Avarice Band for the pickup radius, obviously, and Oculus. Again, I haven't really bothered putting a Rogue on because the Broken Crown sadly doesn't work with the Soul Shard in the Helm. So if you do want to farm gems, obviously you would need a Rogue on the follower, Broken Crown for the extra gems, and you'd have to take out your Soul Shard, which sucks a little bit because it is kind of cool wearing a Messerschmitt's Reaver on your head. Having pads always essential for follower T16 build, allows us to teleport back through time. Back to town without being interrupted. And then Gloves of Worship, obviously fantastic because 10-minute shrine effects. If you're going to do a key session, then obviously getting that is pretty handy. We do have to take the Token of Invulnerability because we're not taking the pet gem, the Enforcer. Skills wise, we've selected the bonus elemental. We've selected the pool of energy for a bit more damage because we don't really need the armor, and then the cheat death I just think is probably a little bit more useful than attack speed because obviously attack speed I don't think does terribly much. Right, I guess we'll show a GR80 because that is kind of the equivalent of a 4-player T16 bounty. So obviously we won't get any gold from it, so we will be slightly faster at doing this. Another gem to consider when I get more power is Wreath of Lightning, just to bump up that move speed a little bit more. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. We just hold down the button, you pop your Battle Rage Bloodshed once, you only have to do this once, and then just every 4 seconds make sure you're popping your Marathon bonus just to get the move speed up. And as you can see, even without gold wrap, you know, it's pretty tanky, and if you took another 50% on this with your Morsex Brace, you'd be pretty golden. We'll try not to take any pylons because obviously if you are doing bounties you won't have them, but just remember keys will be quicker than this because you are getting the gold dropped, you are getting the move speed bonus from that, which obviously would be pretty handy. Trying to think if there's any other ways of getting move speed in this. We could try and do the Echoing Fury, Ambo's Pride with something else in the cube. That would be pretty handy. We'll leave the pylon, as we say, just to kind of show what a bounty would look like. And this is actually kind of like a bounty tile set, isn't it? But as I say, I just like, it's quite nice to just be able to zone out a little bit, not worry about your Fury generation. So I don't know, maybe we'll look at that as we carry on building, because obviously it's only very early in the season, only a few days old now, so we are looking to improve things. And once you hit, you know, 1200, 1500 Paragon, we don't have any augments yet. I haven't done any yet on this character, because I've just been playing Z-Barb, and you don't really need the augs for key farming, you don't really need them for Z-Barbing. But obviously at some point, given this is the Barb's best push set, I might well aug it up. It depends. I might do Frenzy instead. I probably won't do Might of the Earth, because I have done that in the past. Fully auged it out to like 120. So maybe we'll save them for some Crusader builds, because, you know, Crusader goes well with Barb, doesn't it? But Whirlwind, maybe we'll try. We'll try for the Barb boards, possibly. Depends how long we play for and stuff. But you can see, like, we do take a bit of damage on the Rift Guardian. You know, obviously some of the bosses in bounties can be a little nasty. But, you know, the way toughness scales is obviously the more you add, just the less and less damage. It kind of goes up exponentially. So a little bit more toughness is fine. And obviously if you do go for the Mortix Brace, hooray, 50% more. But I really like the Arm Gods. Breaking stuff and moving fast is a lot of fun. You know, non-ancient weapon here. The gear is nothing special by any means. Just, you know, try and get the right rolls on it, and you should be good to go. No primal, no essence. So, you know, rip. That would have been nice. Let's hope I got something good. Right, I've been the Filthy Casual. I hope you're enjoying season 25. I'll be back with some more videos soon. Take it easy. Peace.